Hello and welcome to the Bellicose Nation. Let's get right into it today because so much is happening over in the Middle East right now. Right now, the Middle East is under attack and aflame. No, not all of it, just the sovereign area known as the United States Embassies. Yes, sir. Seems our embassies, and in fact our country, is under attack across several areas of the Middle East. Now, it started out in Libya with a firebombing of the embassy and the death of 4 personnel. And the mood seems to be spreading to other neighboring countries. Folks, at the risk of sounding arrogant, I saw something like this coming. In fact, I'll suggest that this is only the tip of the iceberg. Because I believe from the very start this was not an Arab Spring, but rather a Pan-Islamic resurgence. Now, amazingly, President Obama did everything he reasonably could to facilitate the overthrow of the sitting powers in the Middle East. And some were longtime allies of the U.S., and these leaders often kept a lid on much of this crazy stuff over there. Now, Obama added his political weight and, in some cases, strategic aid to the rebels in the hopes that that when this was all over and the dust settled, we would be chummy with the new emergent powers in the Middle East, often referred to as the Arab Spring. Now, the insane thing was he helped push out the old leaders without having any idea what would take its place. You know, I mean, this is what really amazed me. I can imagine you'd sit back and wonder what's going to happen, but to be involved in bringing down leaders, some of these were fairly friendly with Israel and even helped us in some of our military operations over there, and yet he pulls the carpet right out from underneath them. As I said, and I'll repeat it now, this is not an Arab Spring, but rather an Islamic Spring. Take note of the flag that they replaced the American flag with. It wasn't the flag of Yemen or Egypt or anything else. It was an Islamic flag honoring Islam. Now, this is not some fringe group. This is not the American version of the Westboro Baptist Church. This is a sizable segment of the people in that region. In some ways, you know, we bear some responsibility for these events. Not for the actions of the people who attacked our property and our people, but for the role we play in exposing ourselves in these hostile regions. And then furthermore, for not being prepared or anticipating something like this could happen in countries who are, quite frankly, in the midst of revolution. Now, if President Obama can wear the death of bin Laden on his chest like a badge, it is only fair that he now wear the death of Ambassador Stevens right next to it. And I mean that. Now, one of the few downsides of living in the U.S. is the isolation of thought we have. Every voice in the mainstream media looked at this bottom-up resurgence of Islam, and in unison, they called it Arab Spring. You know, it's like a talking point, Arab Spring. Talk about groupthink. And these folks are supposed to be on the cutting edge, telling us rubes what's going on in the world. I mean, exactly what was it that set these folks off this time? Think about it. What set these guys off this time to cause them to tear up property and destroy lives like this? What prompted them to attack our embassy and our people? Oh, that's right, a YouTube video. A video no one has even heard of before they thrust it into the spotlights. This is all it takes over there. Now, I still maintain that there are not enough moderates in that region to ever have a working democratic society, or at least one that you and I would want to live in. And that's fine. Let people organize the societies which reflect their values and their interest. I'm all for that. And as long as their interests do not clash with ours, I have no problem with that. You know? Now, I'm going to wrap this up. And what I want to do is I want to invite people who have some closer knowledge to that area, to that region. You know people there specifically to comment on this video. I want your take because we cannot depend on the media to tell us what's going on. To hear them talk, it's a handful of crazy people. But when you look to the street, you see thousands out there. That's thousands. And there has to be 10 times that many at home that support but aren't out there risking life and limb. So if you have some insight into that region, I want you to reply. I want you to give a response. I want to hear your take on this thing too. Well, once again, this has been the Bellicose Nation covering the four corners of the globe, one video at a time.